We are here today with Mike Dreitzer, who is the brand new CEO of Gaming Arts, a company that began some years ago as a bingo and keno company, and in recent years has grown into a electronic gaming machine and games company. And first of all, Mike, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Frank. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me here. Always enjoy talking with you and always enjoy sharing the story of Gaming Arts. So thanks again.
Great. And we look forward to hearing that story today. Mike, you were a veteran of the gaming industry, having held a number of positions. And you came into Gaming Arts a few years ago, which was headed by an entrepreneurial, innovative invention guy in David Colvin. You bring, I'm sure, a different set of skills and perspectives. Tell us a little bit about what you think you will bring to the role of CEO, and perhaps any changes that you might see upcoming that you would like to make.
Well, you correctly indicate David Colvin, who is our founder and owner. He is, by way of background, a very prolific inventor, entrepreneur. So he definitely is an ideas person. He comes up with products. He comes up with a lot of different ideas to be able to put together for the different markets. And so about 3 years ago, I started at the company, and what we quickly recognized was that David and I have very complementary skill sets. I am more on the execution side, on the operation side, and he is more of an ideas and putting together new usage for technologies in different spaces. So it was really a nice complementary skill set when that was put together. So I was offered and humbly accepted the role of CEO last month. And that's because of the evolution of Gaming Arts in terms of where we're going. We continue to evolve into a company that is a full service, one-stop shop for gaming technology. As you correctly indicated, we started out, our roots were in the bingo space, specifically the session bingo space. We have a lot of very interesting technology and products for the session bingo space, and not a lot of folks are in that space. Bingo is the same way it is in most places for many, many years. So we've come in and really innovated in that space, keno as well. And then starting around 3 years ago when I joined, and others, Keith Krasinski and Gene Veneman and others joined, we did enter the slot business. So now we continue to grow the business. A little more than 2 years ago, we placed our first slot machines at the Valley View Casino in San Diego. And now we have more than 600 units out in the field. So it's a very fast rollout. And what was required in that is execution. We have made our share of mistakes and bumps and bruises and growing pains, but really it's about continued execution. So I think I can bring a methodology, the ability to build the company, to be able to take our innovative products and scale them across more and more markets. So David remains very, very involved in the business from the perspective of ideas and product creation and product development, product management. The idea is that I will take the step forward with respect to the execution of the business, continuing to proliferate, not only in the United States, but of course, worldwide.
Okay, great. And as you mentioned, David is going to remain active. Does he have a specific role that he will play as an active chairman?
Yes. So again, David is very active in the product development side. He is one of the leaders in the group. He works very closely with Keith Krasinski, who is our VP of product and product development, and Gene Veneman and others and the entire team. David is involved in all the meetings. They have meetings every Wednesday. We call them Wacky Wednesdays, where the ideas are discussed and kicked around. David is very, very involved with that. He also has a very strong interest dating back to his days as owner of the Sienna Hotel and Casino in Reno. He has a strong interest on the marketing side of the business. So he's been very involved with ads and with trade show presentations, rack cards, all sorts of collateral that we provide to our customers. So David remains very involved in those areas. And of course, working with me on the board and the executive committee, very involved in the direction of the business. So I've viewed, since I started this, as a really strong partnership that David and I started a little over 3 years ago when he had the vision of taking the company beyond its bingo and keno roots. And we have developed that partnership to where we are today, to where we have very strong pipeline of products that are performing very well in multiple areas, which I'm happy to talk about. But the idea is then execution and continuing to proliferate on a bigger and bigger scale. But he remains in the business. He and I talk most every day. He's involved with strategy. So very, very strong footprint on the business that has established a baseline for our success. And we expect and hope that he certainly will continue in that way moving forward.
Okay, great. We will talk about the products in a few minutes. But before we do that, Mike, let's talk a little bit about the current environment that we're in, which is the winding down, we hope, of the COVID pandemic. We've seen the COVID pandemic cause a lot of companies and a lot of different industries to do things differently or learn new things about themselves. Has COVID taught you anything at Gaming Arts or changed Gaming Arts in any way?
It has taught me quite a bit. It's humbled me. It's humbled our company. The word I would use at this stage, Frank, is grateful. We have a recovery that is well underway, but it's very fragile. When you think about where we were some 14 months ago, 99+% of our customers shut their doors for the time being. We had to really, it was gut check time to figure out where we went from here, because we're a small company. And the risk as a small company that's just starting out, we're expecting a tremendous 2020. We had lined up for a big year. And the risk is that you fade away or get forgotten about, or you get lost in all of what's going on in the world. So we made two big bets. Number one, we said we're going to keep our R&D team going, which is what we did full force. They work from home, many of whom continue to work from home. And so they continue to build the library of games, because at the end of the day, we're a content business. So we did that. The other bet was that we kept our sales team in full force in effect, so that they continue to connect with our customers, basically waving the flag, the Gaming Arts flag, across the industry to make sure that everybody knew that we were still here and we were recovering from it. So in this process, Frank, we learned to be leaner. We learned to do things more with less. Unfortunately, we had furloughs, we had layoffs, as many did. Fortunately, we're able to bring the vast majority of those individuals back over the course of the last 12 months. But it really forced us to tighten our belts, be fiscally responsible, do more with less, and be very innovative in the way in which we communicated with our customer and the way in which we did our business moving forward. For example, obviously G2E 2020 was unlike anything we've ever seen, because we didn't have the face-to-face that everybody expects, and hopefully we'll be back to this fall. So we did a series of Zoom calls where we outlined our entire product catalog to literally hundreds of customers across North America. And frankly, it was a big success because we had their undivided time. They appreciated that we're reaching out to them. We gave them the whole product line. We answered questions. And so that was a really good thing to do. That was cost effective. I mean, we looked at other ideas around, you know, getting a big bus and going around the country, but a lot of customers didn't want to see us, right? They didn't want to see anybody. So we did a lot of Zoom calls, and we did what we could. We had, you know, happy hours with our customers, virtual happy hours to keep in touch, see what's on their mind. And remember too, many of our customers, they themselves were furloughed during this most difficult time. So we did what we could to stay in touch. So we've learned to do business in a leaner format. We've learned to really appreciate, you know, what we have and really focus on what value we can bring to the customers. And as last year showed, it all can, it's all very fragile. It can go away in a heartbeat. So we're humble, and we're very grateful as we continue to see this fragile but real recovery. We're very grateful that our customers, not only are they giving us an opportunity on their floor, but we're also seeing that we get access to a lot of capital budget of our customers. I should point out in terms of doing business differently, initially, when COVID hit, we anticipated we'd be leasing more than we'd be selling. But now we're seeing that there is a fair amount of capital that is available, thankfully, and our customers are making the decision to spend on our products. So we're grateful that we're able to be part of that as well. So it's been a huge learning experience. It's humbling when you lead an organization and there's zero playbook for one day when your entire customer base shuts their doors. So that certainly was one for the ages for everybody. but we've come back humbly. We want to do business in a way that is friendly, want to be easy to do business with. We sell or lease our product, whatever the customer's preferred model is. So we've had to be much more flexible. And I'll also add too, in final, Frank, that as a smaller company, we found the ability to be nimble and the ability to work with customers to quickly meet their needs. If it was in the bingo space or in the Keno space with our Keno kiosk product, we've been able to really meet their needs and have had some interesting results. One thing I like to talk about in particular when we get to the products discussion is Casino Wizard and what that has meant both to us and to our customers. So we're humbled and grateful, and we look forward to continuing to earn the trust of our customers and grow our floor share across the floors in North America and beyond.
Okay, great. And yeah, let's talk about the products. And Casino Wizard was one that David certainly mentioned when we spoke to him in October. So give us your best, Mike.
Certainly. So the Casino Wizard product is a very interesting product in that it is a multi-game table game, right? It has craps in it. It has blackjack, roulette, and baccarat. And so these are standard games that obviously have been in the history of gaming for hundreds of years. So our take on it was, let's put them together in an electronic table game, but let's do it in a slot box, right? So that it had limited floor footprint. It didn't have the big footprint of a spaceship that others do in their ETG. So that was the first thing. The other thing was, initially, the idea was that this product would be good for players who wanted privacy and who wanted to play table games, but either were learning about how to play table games and didn't want to embarrass themselves with the wrong bet. Oh, I shouldn't have doubled down or whatever it is, or who just didn't want to sit in a communal environment with 5 other people at the related position. So it's a singular activity within a slot box. And, we thought the idea would be that it would be, for lack of a better term, a steady Eddie. It would go in and it would find its place for those sorts of players. Now, funny thing happened, Frank, when COVID hit, there was concern about the touch points within a pit. And a lot of our customers either shut down or significantly limited their table position. So they had players who wanted to play table games, but they wanted to do it in a more socially distant way, right? To adhere to the requirements of various jurisdictions. So enter Casino Wizard. Again, it has the footprint of a slot box, but it's table games. And so we've had tremendous success because we've really filled the need for customers during and now beyond COVID, where people are able to play all of their favorite table games in a socially distanced way. And now what we're finding is that players have really taken to it. And we feel as though in some ways we've helped redefine the ETG market and not make it about a large spaceship or a large stadium. It literally is 4 games in one box in the same slot box. And so we've had tremendous results across all of the markets where it's at. And so we're very excited about continuing to proliferate our footprint of Casino Wizard, both in North America and then beyond North America as things get better and better. So that's an example where we did our core of our launch during COVID. And we really found that customers needed that very product at that very time. And now we're finding that players really enjoy the ability to play their favorite traditional table game with some fun additional side bets and other features that we put in the games. And we're finding that players really enjoy it. So the coining on the games has been tremendous. The performance overall has been tremendous. And we've heard it from multiple casino operators who say, well, there needs to be at minimum a bank of Casino Wizard on every casino floor in the country. And obviously that's the kind of thing we like to hear. So that's been an interesting development for us in this COVID period. All of our games, Frank, too, the way that they are set up, they are all naturally spaced. When you put our games in a pod formation, they're at least 6.5 feet apart from each other in the pod because they open generously at the angles, meaning, we've always been socially distant by nature. So we didn't need the plex or the other limiters that exist between boxes when you're concerned about that for the sake of social distancing. So that too has been a big benefit for us. And again, customers see the benefit in that. And again, we had presumed that they'd be wanting to lease, and we have grown our route significantly, but at the same time, we're grateful to have access in some cases for our performing games to get access to the capital that customers have. So we're pretty excited about that.
Great. Any other new products out there that you'd like to mention?
So we have, for our company, in view of the industry and the age of the industry, all of our products are new products, right? So we start off with the Pop and Paste series, which came out a little over 2 years ago. But it's really the sort of what we lead with in most casinos, and it continues to do very, very well, which is nice. We have the Dice Seeker series, which is a very, very unique gameplay mechanic utilizing dice. The use of dice in gameplay is a natural, of course, in slots. So we're very excited about that. Casino Wizard, as I mentioned, and then we have a lot of the wheel topper games, and specifically one that has been hyped and has performed very well, Hamster Libre, which utilizes a lucha libre wrestling hamster with a mask on his face, and he falls into the scene and does a lot of different fun things. And we have other wheel games as well. So very excited about those products. And now what's new for this year specifically is our Vertex Grand, which is our 49-inch vertical upright cabinet. And it has its entirely new line of product, which we will be releasing around NIGA, and then, of course, into G2E. So we're super excited about the Vertex Grand. We believe that's a game changer for us. We've been able to achieve what we've achieved largely utilizing the dual screen box, our focus box, and now we add this entirely different form factor. So we're excited about that. The other thing that I'll mention too, Frank, is we are moving into the historic horse racing space, which is a product that has been out in Kentucky and Virginia and other places. So we're moving into those markets in the second half of this year. We're excited to hopefully have approval for those products in the next 30, 45 days and begin to move out some of our games into the historic horse racing space. So a lot of very exciting things ahead. Geographically, I should note too that we're expanding into different markets. We now have the ability to place in the 5 largest markets in Canada. Obviously, Canada is experiencing at this stage some COVID challenges, but as that gets better and better, we expect to go into Canada in a big way, hopefully sooner than later this year as Canada opens up. So from a product perspective, from a product type perspective, and from a geography perspective, we continue to grow our footprint. We continue to scale, and that's part of my my vision and part of my expertise. I think is to take these magnificent products and really do what we can to scale the right team. What you would call in football, of course, the block and tackle stuff, right? It's not glorious, it's not super sexy, but it's stuff that you need to do to build your company. And what you do is you put out a bank. And then if that does well and you out earn your floor share, you get another bank and then another bank. So it is bank by bank. And that takes a very, very steady and patient execution. And that's something we've been very, very good at. And now that hopefully COVID seems to be somewhat behind us and getting better and better, we continue to execute better and better across all of our markets. So it's a very exciting time. And, we're very, very grateful to be in this spot considering where we were a year ago.
You mentioned, Mike, that you got about 600 machines out there now.
Yes.
You're going to be expanding into new jurisdictions. And early on, you used the word global. Tell us a little bit about what your footprint is now geographically and what your plan is to roll out into new jurisdictions.
Certainly. So, we have always had global ambitions. I would say that COVID has scaled that back, at least in the near term, because of naturally we need to stay at home, if you will, and make sure that we are establishing a great foundation in the United States and North America generally. So one of the nice things is we just were granted a temporary license in Colorado. So we're able to do business in Colorado. Recently, as of May 1st, the rules for gaming changed in Colorado and allowed for Keno. And so we're going into Colorado with Keno as well as with slots. So Colorado is going to be a big market for us. In fact, I'm going there next week and we're hoping to do the install of the slot and the Keno product next week. That seems to be where things are at. So Colorado is a big one. As I indicated, Canada is a huge initiative for us. We believe our games will play very, very well there. So we're going to continue to go after North American markets where it makes sense. As you know, licensing can be expensive and all of that, but it's something we're familiar with. And so we make sure that there's viability in the markets and interest in our products before we go in. And then certainly on the tribal side, that's an enormous part of our business. Continue to open up and get licensed in all the tribes throughout the United States. We have looked at other markets, specifically Mexico, other areas of Latin America, and parts of Europe. I think those will be next. But candidly, at this stage, we've got a new Vertex Grand box that we're very excited about that's coming out. We have to get that right. And so you really need to walk before you can run. And we would consider some of these international markets running. We'll get there. But at the end of the day, we have to perform in the US and scale this right. And then we have to go into Canada and scale that correctly. And then from there, hopefully, again, as the world continues to improve and heal from what's happening, we'll be able to go more globally in 2022.
Okay, that sounds great. And if you got your crystal ball out and you look 3 to 5 years down the road, what kind of company will Gaming Arts be?
So our mantra is David says, compulsively creative. And Keith Krasinski, who heads up our development, I mentioned earlier, he is all about fun for the gambler. So what we want to do is we want to be able to deliver innovative products across the casino floors all across the world. That's who we are. We are not followers. Look at our slot product. If you look at even our bingo product and now the Keno kiosk, which is the first of its kind in the world, standalone Keno box that doesn't require Keno runners. And so it offers a Keno amenity without the overhead. If you look at all of that, we are on the cutting edge of innovation, practical innovation for what our customers want. So the hope and expectation is we'll take these products, these different products, these cutting edge products, and be able to offer them throughout the world. We've not yet met a customer who said, no, I have enough good games, I don't need any more, right? I haven't met that. And so therefore, what we have to do is continue to out-earn our floor share, continue to prove to our customers that our product performs, not only in slots, but in Keno and bingo and whatever it is that we do, and innovate. It has been said in numerous settings, particularly going back to several G2Es ago and since, that we're different. And we take pride, Frank, in that difference. We take pride in the fact that our products are unique. They're not just copies or Me Too's or, oh, everybody else is doing that, so we'll run to that too. We do stuff differently. And there's multiple examples, some of which I've mentioned, of things, gameplay mechanics, ways that we approach things that are very different to others. And our customers have said they want the innovation, and we need to continue to earn that. Now, part of that too is proper execution. I mean, you can have the greatest game in the world, but if it's down because there's a problem with it, or because the slot tech couldn't service it, or because we couldn't get it delivered and installed on time, that game's not going to do anybody any good sitting in a warehouse or on a truck. So we have to make sure we get all the logistics right to support our product. And I'm not going to, you're not going to lie, there have been moments, growing pains over the last 3 or 4 years where we've had to really work out the kinks in our delivery mechanisms and our customer support. I think everybody has that as growing pains of a small company. But now that we've had the time to really get this right, if you put really solid product into that pipeline, we see high ceiling all across the country. So we're going to end the world. So we're going to take the next 3 to 5 years with that basic hypothesis. We're not, doing something that quote unquote would be seen as, entirely outside the realm. We're focused on block and tackle, getting product on the casino floor that works, fun for the gambler, innovation on the casino floor, and we believe our customers appreciate that.
Okay, great. You're a young company, you're growing, and as you grow, there's need for more capital. Do you envision Gaming Arts at some point becoming a public company?
So what we know is that every day we wake up, we come in, we do the right thing, and we're building the company, and we're focused on that. And when you do the right thing every day, and you make it easy for customers to do business with you, and you act, grateful and humble, and earn everything you get in this difficult industry, when you do that, Frank, good things happen. As David likes to say, and I agree with him, we're not ruling anything out. Definitely, we're open to opportunities in the capital markets that could allow us to accelerate our growth. and expand our footprint in a manner that would be more rapid than if we do it organically. So yes, we are open to that, but that's not the focus. The focus is, each and every day building this business and executing and getting it right. We make mistakes like everybody does. We pay for them, say mea culpa, and we learn from them and we move on. But as long as we're doing that every day, good things will come. And yes, potentially one day, one of the good things that could come along is some sort of capital market opportunity, either going public or the ability to expand deeper reach into other markets. We're in a tough business. It's competitive, it's mature, it's dominated by 4 or 5 players. And so we're disruptive. We've proven that. I believe in the slot rollout of over 600 units in around 2 years. That's just about as fast as anybody could do it. And oh, by the way, one of those 2 years was the entire COVID period. So it's been a difficult time. But yes, we believe if we work hard, good things potentially, like you mentioned, could happen. And we believe that they will. So the best days are ahead of us. We need to keep earning our floor share with our customers. And as long as you keep out earning your floor share, you go from a bank to 2 banks to 20 banks or whatever the customers will bear based upon your performance. So we're just getting after it. There's no, been in this a long time, as have many of our colleagues. There's no magic bullet to any of this. You have to work hard every day. You have to be humble. You have to make mistakes and learn from them and improve and deliver great games. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to keep after that line and expect much of that in the next 3 to 5 years.
Mike, that is a great overview. Thank you very much for your insights.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Frank. Always good to be with you. And hopefully one of these days we'll be able to, sit across from one another without the use of a phone and a camera.
Soon.
Soon enough. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all. Frank, thank you so much. Appreciate everything you do. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the world soon.